Thanks for tuning in. This is Anil Mall. I represent the Canadian Securities Exchange. You're watching a listed company update. And today I am virtually talking to Kory Zelickson. He is the CEO of Vejii Holdings Ltd on the Canadian Securities Exchange, trades under the symbol VEJI. Kory, thank you so much for your time. How are you?
Thanks, Anil. I'm great. How about you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So Kory, here we are. We're providing, viewers, investors, and followers with an update on the company. I'm sure the elephant in the room and what everybody wants to know about is the recent share consolidation. So can you maybe shed some light on that and provide a message to your investors on what the strategy behind this was?
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. And I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this too. For myself and as the single largest shareholder individually in the company, I can appreciate everybody's concern around the idea of the consolidation because it does affect me as much as it does everybody else in the company also. But that being said, I think that based on where the market's trading today, where the stock's trading at, based on the cap table that we're looking at today, the share consolidation is something that I believe really positions the company better for future growth and opportunity. And so while it wasn't an easy decision to make, I do think, and again, for me as someone that is a shareholder and the person really responsible here, that I think that it's the best decision that we made for the company overall and for shareholders.
I think that's a strategy that's worked in the past for other companies. I'm sure that the viewers really want to know where you and your team stand on it. So thanks for that sort of breakdown on the reasoning behind it. But there's a lot that viewers and investors might be missing out on that you and your team have been working on behind the scenes. So I kind of want to start with how the year ended off and what the company has done moving into 2022, into the first quarter.
Sure. So since the company went public, we completed our first acquisition of veganessentials.com, which is one of the most reputable vegan grocery stores on the internet. They've been around for about 20 years and won Best Vegan Grocer of the Year for many years in a row. We completed that acquisition and have integrated with their team as well. And then on December 31st, we closed the acquisition of vegco.com, which is another online platform, but that really became the B2B division for the company. So vegco.com and the founder, Trevor Hitch, the value that they bring is their ability to provide independent restaurants and grocers with high quality plant-based options without the really difficult and challenging financial commitments that are required from a lot of the large national food distributors. So typically, you'll see a lot of these restaurants independently owned. Over 70% of restaurants in the US are independently owned. And these business owners are often going to Costco to buy products to cook in their restaurant. And some of the larger distributors require, minimum weekly orders to accommodate, working with them. And so Vegco provides some of the best quality products on the market and makes it accessible, including payment terms for restaurateurs as well, to be able to start incorporating plant-based options onto their menu.
So Kory, how big is the footprint of Vegco? I would imagine it's quite massive when you're dealing with wholesale and distributing to restaurants.
So Vegco started in Kailua, Hawaii, and Trevor's whole model initially was starting to import plant-based foods into the Hawaiian market when they weren't available. They did grow and expand on mainland US with an additional warehouse in Atlanta and one in Oakland, California. So where we are positioned today as a company, and we're really focused on the cold chain logistics network, right? Because the top product categories within the space are plant-based meat, dairy, seafood, egg alternatives. All of these products that are the most popular items within the category, are frozen products. So they have to be stored frozen, picked, packed, and shipped and delivered to consumer frozen. And the only way to do that efficiently is to have that distribution footprint. So today, after completing both of those acquisitions and with our original warehouse, which was based in Austin, we now have 5 distribution centers across the US, which means that we can actually target and deliver frozen goods direct to consumer within 2 to 3 day ground shipping window.
Got it. And then so the US side of things is more focused on your platform using Veg Essentials, correct?
Veg Essentials, Vegan Essentials is that first acquisition that we completed. Their warehouse is based in Wisconsin. So veganessentials.com and shopvejii.com are the two direct-to-consumer platforms that are on straight up online retail. And so what we're doing now, and part of what we've been working on in terms of the integration, is taking inventory in Vegan Essentials, all of the SKUs that they have, and moving those SKUs also into our warehouse in California that belongs to VegCo. That allows us to start delivering product faster to the California market from the offering that's inside of Vegan Essentials or the offering from shopvejii.com and our Veggie Express offering there too.
Got it. Now I want to talk a little bit more about, over the last little while, your team has brought on board a lot of brands. I think there's over 500 different brands that are available on the website.
Correct. Yep.
That's an accomplishment in itself. And, I do want to address that. What are you finding that are some of the hurdles in bringing some of these brands, or are they just sort of accepting and naturally gravitating towards your platform?
So what's really interesting is that when we started the company, right, we were shipping product and starting to look at what product categories were trending and where we needed to focus on and what inventory we'd be purchasing and bringing in ourselves. So as we've continued to onboard brands to the platform, what we recognize and what we've seen over the last year and a half is literally hundreds and hundreds of new brands coming to market, right? So how many plant-based chicken brands are there going to be, or how many plant-based seafood brands? And everybody is fighting to get on the same shelf space in the same box stores. So everybody was trying to get into Kroger and Walmart and Costco and Whole Foods. And I just truly don't believe that there's enough room on shelf space in grocery stores in America to accommodate this huge influx of brands coming to market. And so what we've seen is we've started to see a shift where a lot of the brands are starting to look towards what is my online strategy, what's my direct-to-consumer strategy, and how am I going to achieve that? And the issue is that, as I mentioned, most of the popular categories are plant-based proteins, right? So meat, dairy, seafood, egg, cheese, alternatives. All these products require cold chain distribution, right? So you have to be able to store frozen, ship frozen, and deliver a frozen product to a customer. And that is not an easy challenge, right? And so
it's not cheap either.
It's not cheap. And you need to have multiple points of distribution across the US in order to do that efficiently. And that's where Vejii has really started to unlock the door for a lot of these CPG companies that are looking to get into online retail and direct to consumer, but frankly, just don't have the resources to do it. If they wanted to do it on their own, they literally have to go find 5 different distribution centers or 3PL locations strategically located across the country, and then start looking at different integrations between their platform and each of those warehouses. So we have a turnkey solution for brands. And the benefit is that in our fulfillment platform, where brands are actually coming now and providing inventory on consignment to us, the benefit for us is that we get consignment inventory where we can go and list their products on the site. They can go onto the Veggie Express platform alongside all of the other top selling brands, but then we can also ship and do all the fulfillment for them for their own customers, right? So we have brands like Unreal Deli, right, which is a New York-based deli slice company that was backed by Mark Cuban recently. They joined the platform. We've been selling their products for a while, and now we're taking over doing all the distribution for their own e-commerce as well. And there's been lots of cases of brands where we're having conversations around how we help grow and scale these brands and their online presence, right? And that platform and our cold chain logistics network is really the key to unlocking that channel for a lot of these brand partners.
Well said. So obviously, what's next moving forward with using these brands? Obviously your team probably is intending on building on that number of 500 that you had mentioned, but what's the expansion plans?
So in terms of the brand relationships, we're continuing to help brands scale online, working with them on the distribution side. What's also been a really interesting opportunity that we've been really gaining a lot of traction with is the vendor onboarding side and the way that we're helping brands market and gain awareness. And so when we have brands that come to our website and let's say they're joining the Veggie Express platform, or they're putting their inventory on consignment within our distribution network, these brands are looking to gain awareness and traction and getting eyeballs on their product from consumers. So we have other offerings, like we do sampling programs for brands where we'll send out samples to all of our customers in every order. We get samples out to their brokers. But really, when it comes to creating awareness for a brand, right? If you came onto our site and you had, Anil, you had a new plant-based food company and you wanted to gain awareness and you just went and listed the product on the website, you'd be on like page 35, right? And so what we started doing is, we started monetizing these opportunities. So now we're charging for email blasts, we're charging for real estate on the website, getting listed in the top selling products. But what's most interesting is that what we'll do is we'll work with brands and we'll take their products into our influencer network and we'll create user generated content, which is like really authentic content that gets created by those influencers. And then we repurpose the content into paid digital ads. And so if you look at a lot of the ads that you might see for Canadian companies like Bush Foods, for example, or Nabati or Soul Cuisine, all the companies that we're working with are companies in the US like Daring Foods. And a lot of the brands that we partner with are actually paying advertising dollars to leverage those ads and drive traffic to their product landing on our page. So the benefit for the brand is as a first point of interaction, somebody comes to the site, they're already a qualified lead, they can see the product and add it to their cart. The benefit for us is that nobody really checks out with one product on the website, and they'll wind up going and shopping and working towards hitting that free shipping threshold on their basket price too. So it's been really productive for us in terms of our ability to sort of build that agency model, right? So it's really a turnkey solution for brands that are looking to gain awareness, that are needing help with the distribution side. And then even to that extent now, with VegCo being a part of the picture, we can also start introducing brands into our restaurant.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the overall industry, because you and I spoke earlier. You and the team were at one of the largest food expos that recently finished, or I should say recently wrapped up. Tell our audience a little bit about the show that you were at, and what sort of feedback were you getting while you had boots on the ground?
Right. So we were at a conference called Expo West, and it was my first time there. And honestly, it was absolutely incredible. Like the amount of innovation and brands, and I could have spent 2 days just literally walking around the floor and connecting with brands. We spoke to a lot of people. We were able to connect with our existing brand partners and form new relationships with new companies looking for opportunities in the space as well. And hands down, what we keep, I was having a conversation with one brand, right? And we love the product and we'd love to get you listed on the site. And they're like, no, we can't do online retail. And we're like, well, how come? They're like, our products are chilled. We can't ship chilled or frozen product anywhere. And I'm like, actually, you can come work with us, right? We have that distribution network. So that's always, it's just been a continuous, same conversation we're having with so many brands that everybody wants to be online. Everybody wants to get direct to consumer. A lot of these companies do understand that, online grocery shopping has been a huge trend and is continuing to grow. And the way that we've built out our platform is really a specialized way for us to grow and support and help scale the brands that are looking to enter into that space too. So it was really refreshing to get a lot of validation on the model and a lot of support and new opportunities with really innovative brands that we'll be bringing into the platform over the next few months.
Now, Kory, other than the fulfillment services that you and your team are providing for the industry, what else did you name me one thing that you came across that we will see moving into the coming months that's going to be the disruptor moving forward in this industry?
So when you look at innovations in plant-based foods, right, and plant-based meat specifically, over the past, you've seen companies like Beyond Meat where the focus was really on creating like replicas or as close as you could an analog to meat alternatives. And one really interesting product that I saw when I was there, that's a very clean label ingredient product, was a type of plant-based chicken that's produced by fermentation of mycelium. So the root system of mushrooms is called mycelia, and fermenting fermenting these mycelium and creating meat textured products out of it was something that I was really impressed. And precision fermentation as a technology is gaining a lot of traction within the plant-based foods industry. and a really great alternative to some of the traditional ways people have been producing plant-based meat to date. But the biggest groundbreaking innovation that I think is going to have the largest impact on the industry, and is something that I'm really excited for commercialization, is cell cultured meat. And that's, that's a very hot topic within the industry right now. There's definitely a stigma around the concept of lab grown meat, but I don't like to call it lab grown meat. I like to call it cultured meat or cell-based meat. But basically, it's where companies are starting to innovate, where they can take animal tissue cells, right, and then use bioreactors to grow and expand the tissue and form actual meat, like real meat. It's actually real meat products, right? But they're grown inside of like bioreactors and fermentation. And there's a lot of benefits there in terms of sustainability compared to animal agriculture is one huge factor in people that are in support of that. And then also the fact that you're able to create meat products in a very sterile environment eliminates a lot of possibility for foodborne illness also. So that's going to be a really significant driver of the innovation in this space in the next couple of years. And I know a lot of people are expecting to see FDA approval for cell cultured meat products this year. And I can assure you that when that opportunity arises, that will be a new category on our website as well.
Well said, Kory. Now, obviously, you have a strong presence here in Canada. You've got a presence in the US. Are there any plans for expansion into Europe that you're able to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. We've come out and said it in the past, and we are certainly looking for the right opportunity in the European market, and more specifically in the UK, where we feel there's a lot of opportunity there. So stay tuned for updates in that regard, because it is a key focus for us in terms of expanding our geography.
Great to hear. Now, Kory, obviously, I want to give you the floor for a few minutes here. Why don't you, because I'm sure your day one investors, day one followers and supporters want to hear from you. So I'll give you a minute or so to maybe, provide a message to your longtime followers and supporters on why they should continue to follow you and your team on this path.
No, I definitely like to thank everybody for their support right from the beginning. I'm so proud of what we've built as a company, and being involved on a day-to-day basis with industry peers. Our business model and what we've created, from our distribution network to the online platform, and creating vertical integration between online retail and our B2B channels. It's just been really amazing how much traction we've gained. And I can definitely recognize challenges in the stock market since we've gone public as well. And I'm impacted as much as anybody as the largest shareholder in the company. So I've not sold a single share, but have invested heavily into the company and believe very strongly in the value of what we've created in the future of the company. We're planning on expanding our product categories across the site, bringing on more brand partnerships, looking at opportunities for expanding our geography as well, and then incorporating really some of the new innovative products onto the platform too. So, I thank everybody for their support. I can assure you that while the market's been challenging, I am doing everything I can on my side to continue pushing the company forward, as is our entire team. So I very much thank everybody for their support, and keep a lookout for more news coming up and some of the traction that we'll be getting over the next few months.
Kory, where can they go? I'm sure they already are following, but to viewers that might not be familiar with your company and team and are just starting to find out, where can they go to find out more details, keep up with your press releases and the new brands that you continue to add?
So I'd actually encourage people to go visit our subsidiary sites as well, because it's one thing to talk about the company or go to our corporate website and look up the stock too, but I encourage people to actually see what we're really doing, right? So go check out Vejii or shopvejii.com, go check out veganessentials.com, take a look at vegco.com and see where we are and what we've built. And then if you want information too on the company and you want to participate and get access to our investor newsletters and press releases, please visit vejiiholdings.com. We trade in Canada through the CSE, our ticker is VEJI, and on the US exchange on the OTC markets under VEJIF.
Well said, Kory. I appreciate you taking the time today, not only to talk to myself, but our viewers and audience members about the company, its vision moving forward, and what your plans are for the future. So again, to everybody watching, you've been listening to Kory Zelickson. He's the CEO of Vejii Holdings Ltd. And as he mentioned, it trades on the CSE under the symbol VEJI.